I'd like to call the Western Reserve Local School Board meeting to order. Here.
Richard Levitt.
Present.
Mark Hall.
Present.
Lisa Powell.
Here.
To the pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would go over to manufacturing.
Oh, right.
Over to the building over here. You know where that is?
I think.
We'll show you.
I was just there.
We'll show you. Manufacturing.
Go to Jay.
Go to manufacturing class.
Go ahead.
Move that.
Hi, guys. I tried almost it hurt. It's my fault. So I have another week and then
I didn't know. I thought it was like, you run the show? Usually, yeah. That's always.
Oh, yeah.
Can't beat them going. How you doing? How about you? Good. Is this everybody? We're ready. All right. Guys? Oh. Somebody get on the camera.
Yeah, I break.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the West Reserve Manufacturing class. And we're going to start it off different this year, and we're going to show you the actual production side of what we do. And we're going to split you up into stations just for a few minutes and show you everything that goes on.
Cool.
And Lance is going to take you guys around, and he's going to show you each station.
Picture first.
Oh, and I'd like to ask the board members to come up for a quick picture real quick.
Not all at once.
I think the
superintendent with us.
Yes, and I'm treasurer.
Mr. Clark? They want the superintendent to...
Just the board. Just the board.
All of us.
He knows who's boss is. We don't go. Which one?
Okay.
Where you want? Yeah. Right now, board.
Be on the outside.
That's where I belong.
Get forward.
A line.
You don't work under.
There you go.
Slower. Yeah. Isn't it? Thanks. Thanks for your help. Come on.
Yeah, that's fine. Can't stay here forever.
That good?
Thank you.
One and done.
All right.
You guys can follow me.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to walk.
I'll show you how a lot.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, guys.
Hello. We're going to breathe down your back.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So basically, what we do in vinyl is we pick a certain design, and we can make any design we want. Actually, it gets pretty tricky designs that we can do, and some other designs are easy. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to get on this screen here. You're going to size it. Each of these boxes is 1 inch by 1 inch. So you're going to size it up to what you want, and then I'm going to tell him to go ahead and put it in the cutter.
Oh, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Man. Wow. Fancy.
So you have to line that up.
Okay. Just get us to be backup so when you guys are short, you can help.
Alright, and then when he's done, you make sure it's the right size, and whatever's on this board is going to cut out there. So you're just going to go to cutting, and then when you hit that, you're going to hit OK, and it cuts out your design. And then Brandon down here is going to show you guys what he actually does when it comes out of there, what you're going to do to peel it. So, all you do is you peel it up from the plastic there. And then this would be like what a finished one looks like here.
So how do you know what you're doing? Oh, I see.
Yeah, and when it's cut out like that, it sticks down, and then once you peel up, it'll come up.
Peeling it first.
Yeah, yep. You want that to be out. You just throw that away and you have your design. So here I have a hoodie that I'm going to demonstrate how to put it on a hoodie, so you guys can come back here with me.
That's how we would peel off a letter?
Never.
No? Because it cuts the back way.
No, sometimes you get a couple myself, so you feel the letter. I like it.
All right, where are we going now?
We're following you.
We're following you. Okay. It's very quiet.
Alright, when we get the design cut out, when we put it on the hoodie, we size it up to make sure it's straight and it's not crooked on the hoodie. So when we put it on, basically, just size it up, make sure you're about even on both sides. And then as long as it's even, you can go ahead and put this protective, this just protects it from melting to the iron here. And then we put it down, and then 40 seconds treats it, and then after that comes up, I'll just iron it on, and then we'll take this other one, put it on there, and then it's the two-tone that we've just come out with that we are doing lately. So
Eyeball all of them for.
usually we like to use a tape measure, but I can get the eyeball down to the point where I can see what's going on. So here's like what a finished one
Oh, so
looks
that's
like.
how you make it with
Yes.
two colors.
Yep. And this is a 2XL. I don't know which one of you guys can wear this, but we were going to give this away. And you guys fit it. I don't mean to like put you on the spot or anything.
I'll take it. I don't care.
All right, here.
Thanks.
Yep. After this is done, it's actually pretty hot sometimes. There's some ink left on there, but that's not going to harm the vinyl. So you're just going to squeegee it on. Then once it's pretty stuck down, make sure nothing comes up with it. Peel that off, it's on the shirt, and then the second coat, you just go over, make sure everything's lined up there, and you're going to do the same. I usually let it sit a little shorter that time so that the color doesn't ruin the vinyl. So other than that, I mean, that's basically what we do. And then after it's done, we sell it to you guys.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Okay,
I'll give it to your coach.
We're gonna keep moving.
You guys can follow me, and then more than required for that class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know how bad I know for
Me too.
crooked?
Alright, so this is our embroidery station. On this computer is where we do all of our designs. We can either make them in the program or bring in a picture from on the web or a picture that we take to do the design, and then once we have the design sized and ready, we go ahead and send it over to the machine here. And then the size of the designs can be from 14 by 7 inches down to anything to like 1 inch by 1 inch. And once we get everything ready, we go ahead and set it up in here, and we can do almost any color, and we can do up to 10 colors on a garment. And then we go ahead and start it up, and this is actually it. Often the thread down here jams, so we have to take it out and rethread it. And this is the Board of Education logo that we designed on that. It's printed right now.
How many minutes do we have left, Tim?
Like 5.
Okay. We'll go ahead and take them to the next station, and then we'll show them that when it's finished.
Okay.
Lance? Good job, Lance.
Nice.
See, I told you. I should go over here and watch it yourself.
Mr. Gardner, my friends were really proud of that test.
This is the construction portion of the machine, manufacturing class. And basically what we do back here is all types of woodwork for anybody. We make chairs, cornhole boards, we even make candy dispensers, tables and everything. Any job you want done with wood, we can do it. And basically that's all. I can see this candy dispenser we made.
Where's the candy?
Yeah, no, we didn't cover it. Sorry.
Where's the candy?
A bunch of machines that we can make any spots and stuff.
Can you show us one of those chairs? These are all the chairs for all the kids in the class. Mr. Clark, can you show? I wanted to show the board how these chairs.
Oh, well, these aren't manufactured.
No, but
These are my 8th grade.
8th grade kids are making these.
It's a nice little campfire chair or something.
Did you guys sell those or no?
No, these are the 8th grade.
Makes sense.
They've enjoyed making these. They work hard on these. And for most of them, almost all of them, it's the first time they ever touched any type of saw or wood or any kind of experience like that. It's been real positive.
I think that you should consider that.
I think so too.
Maybe we should.
Like she said, I bought water bottles and a flower pot.
There you go. Very good. Okay.
And some laser engraving on it?
Yes. Yep. All right, Lance.
All right, Lance.
Oh, yeah. I like the color.
Oh, it's amazing that this kids can do.
Very cool. I'm going to give this to your coach.
All right.
So.
Thank you.
Oh, where do we go? Oh, we got to go back in there.
We're going back in here?
Sorry, she had me off kilter.
Drew will take over for you guys.
Distracted by the hoodie.
All right, hello everyone. This is the garment section, and here's our garment printer, and here's our press dryer that we use for the shirts. The garment printer is specifically just to make shirts, designs on shirts with ink. And before we print anything, we start with a computer and get the design right. And this is called Corel right here. This is a certain thing that we use to get the design for the shirts. We use text and pictures on here. We can either start with Print Shop, Adobe Illustrator, and this, but it ends up being on this so we can move it onto the platform. Start after we get the design on here, we have to line up this so it's 14 by 16 to match the garment platform right here. And then we have to print this or send it over there. And the things we have to focus on is the properties. Right here, the ink volume determines how vivid basically the ink will be and how much we use. And then we send that right over. Alright, now here's where we line up the shirt. Try to get you guys to see this. The shirt goes right over the garment platform. And usually, on all of our shirts, there'll be a line down the center of the shirt to match up with this arrow here to show that it's centered. But this one seems to not have one. So what we do instead, if they don't have a line, is we equal out the sleeves.
depending on the size, we move it backwards and forward to get the design right where we want. This one is a logo, which will be on the pocket. It doesn't take very long to print, probably like max like 30 seconds, but where we spend most of our time is probably the dryer. That'll take 40 seconds. This won't be very long, but right now we've been working on actually 300 shirts, which takes a lot of ink. The cartridges are probably around $200.
What kind of shirts? Did you say like colored ones?
Yeah, those ones are for the field day. We have the on
Oh, okay, yeah.
We've had a lot, like probably 300 front and back. And after the design is on, come over to the press dryer right here.
And that's the same thing you use to put on these, right?
The vinyl, yes. This is what takes actually most of the time. That's why we've been behind a little bit on those shirts.
Every single shirt that comes out, you have to do it one at a time.
Yeah, one.
Okay.
Well, we used to use the conveyor belt right there, but
Oh.
we're gonna really use that often.
And it can't air dry?
No, not usually.
You gotta like soak it in there.
Yeah. Let's make sure the ink stays on. None of it can wipe off at all. Our shirt is done.
Very cool.
This is a medium, so I don't know. Anybody would want it, just doesn't matter.
What?
Kids, anything? Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Lance.
And the next station is Brian on the laser engraver over there.
Alright, this is our laser engraving station. I'm going to make this pretty quick for everybody. So the first thing we got here, we got a design that was pre-made. We're working on a job right now, actually. So to make it easier, you're going to want to take this design, put it into this program. This is CorelDRAW. This just makes it easier to print. I'll show you why later. And once you get it here, you take it to print. And here, this is where you get how fast and how powerful you would make the laser. So we're going to turn the speed up and power up. Okay, once we've done that, we have our design. And what we do here is we're going to size it and put it where we want it in the machine. So to fit this plaque, we're going to have to make it 4.7 inches wide. So we'll do that and put the coordinates in for there, which they're already in there. We ran on paper for the sake of time. Okay. Once we're there, we're ready to print. And we take our engravable, bring it over to the machine, and we got lines down here, and you just line it up real quick. See underneath where they're up there.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So you go like a temple sign up.
Put it in there. Find our job on the actual machine.
Yeah.
And I put whatever image in here. You put it down on a piece of paper. Show you guys. And put it on the button like this.
Here, you can get over here. I'll move over here. Why? You're just such a little thing. I wish.
Look at Brian missed.
I see. Don't say anything because Big Brother's listening.
Yes, I have these buttons.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I like that. Hey, that's like something else. Brooke, you having some trouble?
Yeah, I am. I can't get the bed. Yeah, I can get this one. Okay. All right. You can press it all the way.
She does it like it's nothing. Thank you. I'll cherish that forever. I'm going to wear it everywhere. Brian's going to be sad he's not in this picture.
Is that it, Lance?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have you sit down and do our couple financial things. When we
That was really nice. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Lance, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lance.
It was impressive, Rep. Hey, Rep. It was impressive.
All right, we're going to run through our classmate real quick. We have freshmen 6, sophomore 5, junior 7, and seniors 5. Total students, we have 23. In previous class experience, we have 8. So every year we have a lot of young kids trying to teach them. It starts out slow because they got to learn everything. Job comparison throughout the years since 2003, estimated, because we haven't finished the school year yet, is about 195 jobs. We usually increase our jobs each year, but it could be kind of misleading because this year we did a lot of small jobs. You do one hoodie, it could just be one job, and then you could have 500 shirts as another job. It just depends. Here's the amount of money made through the months of this year. Our monthly income and expenditures from September to April. And this year, our income from April is $15,771, and our expenditures is $14,527, and which comes out to a profit from April $1,243.27. And we're not finished yet. And our income credits, we still have unpaid and unrecorded invoices for $3,400. And we did something new this year. We started donations. And we donated some stuff to the PTO. We donated a set of cornhole boards. So we did that new. Employee incentives came out to about $200 this year. We try to reward ourselves for working hard. We bought new equipment. We bought a new vinyl cutter this year. And another new thing we did this year, we had new display and inventory items. We bought all these displays so people can see what we actually have and what we can actually make them. And then our outstanding debt still is about $1,500 that we still probably have to owe. So our adjusted income would be about $21,741, and then our adjusted expenditures would be $16,227, and then our profit, estimated profit, would be $5,713. And here's our profit comparison from over the years.
Well, apparently this is our profit comparison, more exact number estimations compared to the graphs. As you see, that it has fluctuated throughout the years because the jobs have not been quite as large as what they have been throughout the years. So when it says like 195, it could be from anywhere from a hoodie to a little tiny sticker that we can make or something like that. So the amount of profit sort of just fluctuates inside that way. There's not much we can do about that. Except during the holidays, like Christmas, when everything runs rampant. Last positives. Apparently we have very competitive prices to other businesses around our community. We give donations apparently to the school. New displays, which are right there. 100% of the profit, of course, goes straight to our school. We did make a profit, although slim. Indeed, it is a profit.
And then we'd like to thank those who continually support us each year. And we always have customer satisfaction. If there's a problem, you can bring it back and we'll always fix it. Class negatives, we didn't get some of our own school business, which is normal, like most years. Marketing, we can always do a better job of marketing. We started to do the new display this year, and we got an ad in the community roundup this year also.
Yeah, I like that.
And then shipping costs, it's always hard to control shipping costs because you got to order a lot for a small amount of shipping, and if you order one shirt, the shipping could be like $10 more than the shirt. And then this year we did less big jobs. We had a lot of big jobs last year. This year we didn't. We had a lot of jobs, but they were just a lot of small jobs. Future goals, we always want to increase profit margins. We want to get more of our own school business from different coaches and teachers. We always want to reduce shipping costs. Continue and increase employee incentives so our employees work hard. We want to increase our marketing, advertising, and try to finish our catalog. Finish our website, talk about Drun and Facebook. And for the last few years, we've been talking about purchasing a sublimation machine.
What is that?
It's like you see at the fair, how they make those shirts and all that real quick at the fair. It's like that. It's like a printer. Yeah. And that's it. Any questions?
What do you consider to be a big, say like T-shirts? What do you consider to be a big order for here?
Well, most people, there's a lot of students that'll come in and just want one T-shirt, which counts as a job.
Yeah, but if I wanted to order like 50.
We count that as a big job. But our biggest jobs each year is usually home base from the middle school, which is probably sometimes 500 shirts.
And field day.
Field day. Yeah, we have field day this year that we're still working on right now. Any other questions?
And if we wanted to put it in an order, who do we contact, or how do we get pricing? Or
Mr. Clark you can contact. You can contact one of the students, but Mr. Clark's always here.
And for the
Every period.
pricing, it varies depending on what you want.
Right.
and what type of t-shirt. For like the vinyl and stuff, it's usually $5 per foot for vinyl. So to add that onto the shirt and having to make profit off of it, so that can be, depending on the shirt, that can be anywhere from, and the design, it could be like $25 to like $15. So it's like $10 difference.
The final, would you recommend that other than printing? Because it probably lasts longer, right?
Yeah, we like vinyl better.
Yeah.
The printing has its sort of bad points. It can't really go on darker t-shirts. It's more based on lighter, focusing on that sort of stuff. We can do darker t-shirts, it's just it might take a little bit of time because we have to do screening, which was that crazy orange thing that is in our room over there.
Thank you.
Do employees get a commission based on jobs that you found or if you get charges out?
No. What we get is sort of like
incentive.
the incentive is like a little tiny party that we have with like apple cider. Sorry, I keep using light a lot. That's improper English. Sorry. It's usually donuts, pizzas, or basically bribed with food.
Oh, okay.
Does it work?
We thought about giving commission, and it's just, you can't get it for being in school and working. You'd have to come before school and make sure it's after school, and you just have to put in more time than what's recommended.
Food's good.
We have had customers actually give us tips on top of their bill, and when that happens, I usually pass it on to the students because they did the work.
Great job.
Good job. Thank you very much.
Great job, all of you, and thank you.
Any questions of how well we work together, or?
Sure. How well do you work?
How well do you
Well, it's nice to see the growth and what's happening here.
I mean, when you look at the chart,
Yeah.
it's progress every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you guys all get along?
Not everybody can say that.
I would think so.
I'd say it depends on the day.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
I think it's a little smaller than last year.
That's how we are. Depends on the day. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's very
Thank
good.
you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Students in the back, you can give yourselves applause too.
I know.
You guys are.
And go Cavs, right?
Yes.
I'm like, come on, guys.
Go Cavs.
Yeah, they gotta win. They gotta win today, don't you think? Gotta win.
Thank you, guys.
They're in Chicago. That's what's fun. It is what it is.
Oh well.
Did Missy think was at the old building?
I think I
New building? Oh. I forgot about him.
Brett's twin.
Yikes. That was the best.
That was.
We're adjourned.
Okay, meeting adjourned. We're done.
You can't adjourn without the president. El Presidente.
We're done. We just had the meeting on the way over.
What do you think was at these new buildings?
We stopped and got a snack, and we heard some music.
You thought you were early, huh?
We had dinner.
You thought you were way early?
It was almost like a date. We had dinner and music.
I got there early too. Were you over there? Me too.
Every year, I'll see it.
I did, but it wasn't on there.
I
Deleted it off of mine.
did see the highlight.
Sign on the door, like where you put the handle that said meeting into reserved.
Totally missed that too.
I did open the door for you.
Okay.
Truth is, Brooke was not letting
You
us
know
go
who did
until
that
she figured out the button.
Probably that lady who thought the radio was playing.
There you go. She turned it down when I was going on. All right.
I just thought it was odd that you needed to list them all.
All right. I'll do the speed reading. All right, here we go on with treasurer's recommendations. Number 1 is recommended that the minutes of the April 9th, 2015 regular meeting of the Western Reserve Local Board of Education meeting be approved as mailed to each member in advance of the meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the April 2015 financial reports be approved and the April listing of bills be approved as mailed to each member in advance of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the application for the Special Education IDEA B grant be submitted for the 2015-16 fiscal year. These funds are made available to help meet the needs of the handicapped children. Input as to how these funds should be used is encouraged and will be accepted from the general public. Written comments should be addressed to Jeffrey Zatchok, Superintendent, Western Reserve Local School District. All ideas will be considered and should be received as soon as possible.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
It is recommended that the treasurer prepare and request for an amended certificate of revenue from the county auditor for the 2014-15 fiscal year to reflect the actual revenue received in all funds.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
For the purpose of finalizing year-end budget items, it is recommended that a special meeting of the Board of Education be held in June.
June 30th preferably.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. But we do also need to have the regular meeting to meet the date requirements of
The regular meeting is Thursday, June 11th. Right, we still need the regular
Yes.
meeting on Thursday,
Yes.
June 11th.
So what time on June 30th?
whatever your heart desires. It's a Tuesday.
But I can be here by 6.
You can be here whenever you tell me.
You guys want to do a little earlier?
Fine with me.
Mark?
I'm off.
Okay, you can have it.
Yeah.
6 o'clock on June
Yeah, I can be here by
30th?
6.
All right.
Okay, is that your motion, Mrs. Powell?
Yes, I motion.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes. It is recommended that the updated 5-year forecast and assumptions be approved and submitted to the Ohio Department of Education.
They are in your folder.
So moved.
I'll second it.
It's this one, the color one. Mr. Blevins?
So moved.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
It is recommended that Kaylin Mowry be hired as a junior high volleyball coach for the 2015-16 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
You gotta read all those kids' names.
Do I?
Just make sure my kid's on there.
Is he?
Yeah.
I see him.
A little nervous.
Oh, I should have put a smiley face next to
Here, I'm putting it by mine. Superintendent's recommendations. It is recommended that the senior class of 2015 be approved for graduation June 7, 2015, contingent upon having met all the minimum requirements of the state of Ohio and the Western Reserve Board of Education.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. You didn't hear me? Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes. Will I be able to give Hunter his diploma?
Yes.
So what? We've always had board members present their diploma to their children.
I think we should all.
Still got a couple weeks. So.
Only one person.
I know, I'm scared.
Right. Will it be ready?
4 weeks.
I'm scared.
Stop it.
Yeah,
My little sprout.
Alrighty. It is recommended that the following resolution authorizing 2015-16 membership in the Ohio High School Athletic Association be approved.
You gotta read all this.
So moved.
Okay. I was
Mr.
going to do
Blevins
that.
says no. Second?
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
That's our annual with High School Athletic Association. Yes.
That's her blue card you signed.
Oh, okay.
In case you
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. It is recommended that the following list of certified employee contracts be approved for the 2015-16 school year as per the effective salary schedules. One-year contracts. Sorry, Remo?
I read through them.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, there's one second. And this extended service, supplemental contracts, salary notices. I don't think we should read the salary notices.
And yeah.
Just one of those two.
I think it's all one, right? It's all one vote for all these.
Salary notices are for those that are already under continuing contracts or multi-year contracts. And then the only new contracts are the 5-year contract for Debbie and 3-year contract for Nora Genesis.
The extended service supplements, those are the ones that are attached to actual positions.
Yes, Bob Baxter, that's PN, and Daniel Mattis is the elementary guidance counselor. Extended days.
So Greg is not here for extended days?
He is, he's further down. because-
Okay, because of his retirement.
Now, does that include, what, like on Dacha, is that like his supplement for marching band, football games, and all that kind of stuff?
And the days of marching band in the summer. Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
It is recommended that Cosette Howe be granted a one-year contract as Education Media Specialist for the 2015-16 school year as per Section 6.073 of the Master Agreement with Tower. Also to approve the supplemental contract for 5 additional days.
So moved.
Second?
Oh, wait, sorry. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
I abstain.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
It is recommended that Gregory Molino be granted a one-year contract as guidance counselor for the 2015-16 school year as per Section 6.073 of the Master Agreement with Tower. Also to approve supplemental contract for the 20 additional days.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins? Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes. It is recommended that Lana Kramer be granted a one-year contract as teacher for the 2015-16 school year as per Section 6.073 of the Master Agreement with Tower.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Blevins?
No.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Should we go to executive or?
Do you want to go into that? Is there going to be a session to talk about this? Okay, let's table.
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 It is recommended to approve a one-year contract for Jeffrey Mardick as athletic director effective August 1st, 2015.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It's wet.
It is recommended that the board approve the contracts for classified staff for the 2015 school year as per effective salary schedules as follows. The 2-year contracts are the janitors, cooks, and aides. Salary notices.
One motion.
It is,
Oh, there's more. There's bus mechanics on the back.
the only new contract would be Gary's to renew his contract.
So moved. Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
It is recommended that the board recognize the following students who were inducted into the National Honor Society on April 1st, 2015.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
It is recommended that the report from the district's food service department be approved, certifying that the district is in compliance with the Senate Bill 210, effective July 1st, 2011, pertaining to the guidelines for food offerings and portion sizes offered to students during the school day.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes. It is recommended that the service agreement between the governing board of the Mahoning Valley Regional Council of Government and Western Reserve Local School Districts be approved for fiscal years 2016-17.
So moved.
What is this?
That's through the county office. They formed a council of governments where we haven't utilized them yet. You can actually secure substitute teachers through them. Classroom
We were going to
aides,
use them for the bus
different
drivers, weren't we? For something, is that the same place?
Possibly, yeah, at a reduced cost because it's through a council of
Oh,
governments.
okay. All right. You just,
We're looking at possibly utilizing some of that for next year.
I didn't realize that's what it was called.
That's
Okay.
That's how it is.
Yeah. I'll second that. Okay.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended to approve the contract for special education and related services, alternative program services, and other services as individually specified and defined in the agreement with the Mahoning County Educational Service Center for the 2015-16 school year at an estimated cost of $485,270. This amount will be deducted from the district's state foundation payments and paid to the Mahoning County ESC.
This is every year for services, school psychologist, special ed director, all of those things. We don't hire those people here, again, kind of through the county. We do a little bit of a savings that way to do it through the county.
Sure. Yeah, I'll second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the board approve the enrollment agreement with KOR Energy for the Demand Response Reliability Program.
That's the program I mentioned last month as far as the different times they'll request that we reduce our electrical use throughout the course of summer. We can turn them down if there's something going on and they can give us some cash for that, basically.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
It is recommended that Ron Voitis be hired as the assistant varsity volleyball coach for the 2015-16 school year.
He was the one we brought on late last season for freshman volleyball because we had numbers. Right. Huh? What's the different guy? Oh, is it a different guy? I thought this was Kieran. Oh, you're right. Okay.
He has
Different
coached
guy.
here before?
No. He was a head coach.
Okay.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
It is recommended to approve Brenda Van Auker's request for transfer to a 6-hour cook position.
This is some of that domino effect when we hired Hope Coleman from the cafeteria to come to the treasurer's office. That created a 6-hour opening. Brenda was a 5-hour cafeteria worker, so she moved into the 6. We're currently posting that 5-hour position internally, and then if we don't have anybody apply by tomorrow, then we'll put that out for employment for some.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes. It is recommended to approve Amy Ewing's request for transfer to a 7th grade language arts position.
And again, the same type of thing. Diane Byers is 7th grade language arts. She's retiring. Posted it internally, and Amy had requested.
Wow, that's going to be a change for her.
Yeah.
She's a great teacher.
Yeah.
She is.
And
Yeah.
we really don't have any
That's
concerns.
exciting.
Yeah, she's excited about it too.
Should be a good addition.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So moved on that one. I like that.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that Nicholas Cooper and Madeline Kramer be added to the athletic worker list.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Second reading of the new Western Reserve Local School District policies. We have the career advising, file IJA. It is recommended to approve the new Western Reserve Local School District policy file IJA, career advising.
That's in that packet that I've given to you, number 19, revisions. I gave you those last month. The career advising is a new policy, and we have to have that in place by the fall for this coming school year. And then the other ones in 19, just to mention, are those are the revisions that were made every time there's a different state law passed. We have to make some changes on some of those things. So that's all before you in that all paperclip packets.
Okay.
I'm sorry, too, on the revisions, anything that's highlighted red on the revisions is being deleted, and anything in yellow is what's being added to the existing policies.
Second?
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
It is recommended to approve the following existing Western Reserve Local School District policies as read at the April board meeting.
Those are the revisions.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
There's no
We have an
addendum.
addendum.
Oh, there is? Oh. Okay, on to the addendum. Superintendent's recommendations. Reading of revisions to existing Western Reserve Local School District policies. It is recommended that the following revisions to the existing Western Reserve Local School District policies be approved.
Again, the same type of thing. These are all existing policies, just some revisions, some laws that have changed, and it'll be an ongoing thing. But nothing other than the College Credit Plus. We had to revise our formerly post-secondary enrollment. Now it's called College Credit Plus, and there's some different regulations with that. And just a couple minor changes on most of those policies. Family and medical leave, instead of husband and spouse, it refers to married couple, I guess, for same-sex marriages. Just a couple changes like that. Nothing major on any of those. So
So on the rental, the building rental, it's just,
basically
The word is
changing
different.
facilities to the word
Premises.
premises. Yeah.
all right, I'll second that.
The graduation requirements was just a change of the signs. It really wasn't changing the numbers, the type of signs. It has to be more of a hands-on type of signs.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended to approve the agreement with OSBA for the 2015 Ohio OPS Policy Development Quarterly PDQ services at a cost of $425.
And that's what makes us make all these changes to policies. They send us the information. It's very handy, though, because we've got ours current now, and just
And we'll
maintaining
work it to
that
not
with
have to go
a
through
few
this
changes
again.
every couple of months. It keeps us updated and covered that.
So we could save $400 and you would just have to do it all yourself?
Mhm.
Oh.
But now that we've got it right, it's a lot easier.
So much easier to look things up. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the board accept the bids received and opened on May 11, 2015 from Myers Equipment Corporation and Rush Bus Centers for a new school bus, and to award a contract to Myers Equipment Corporation for the purchase of a school bus at a base bid of $81,882.
We had two bids. Myers' bid was about two. Is that the right price right now?
Yes.
I had a different figure. Myers' bid was about $200 over, higher than the bid from Rush Bus Centers.
Rush Center was $81,789. I believe.
Okay. I must have copied the wrong ones down. The difference of about $100. Okay. Myers is right here in Canfield. All of our buses are Thompson buses, which is what Myers has. Rush had an international bus, so it's like a Ford and a Chevy. So we've got all Thompson buses. They're here right in Canfield. For the difference in the price with the international bus, also Myers included a trade-in. Bus number 3 that we have is currently a 1998. That doesn't sound that old, but that's almost 17 years old.
Yeah.
About 220,000 miles on it. So we got a trade-in on that, and that will kind of update our buses.
Yeah.
We haven't. How long has it been since we bought?
2009.
So it's been.
Wow.
You know,
But I
trying-
believe that was a special needs.
That was a bigger back for,
Yes.
we got a
Yeah,
grant
the
on that
road
too, didn't we?
I think
I want to say there was a big cost difference.
So trying
Those two.
to get into somewhat of a regular rotation.
Yep.
You know, along with that, you need to realize those buses are inspected by the Highway Patrol every year. This year, they're doing the bus inspections a week from tomorrow, before school's even out. So they come in and find issues with buses, and they tag those buses, it's not safe for the road, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm sure they're going to just look at the major things first off, but there's a lot of fuss raised throughout the state because they're doing these inspections, and you know, you don't have time to fix it because you got the kids to haul. So certainly keeping the fleet updated as much as possible on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah, we haven't bought a bus in a while.
Yeah. So.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
It is recommended that the board accept the bids received and opened on May 12th, 2015 from All-American Tracks Corporation and Heiberger Paving for the track resurfacing project, and award the contract to Heiberger Paving at the base bid of $171,735.
Now this is the removal down to the asphalt of the existing track. The two bids were, again, very close together. Heiberger was about $4,000 less than All-American Track. We had two bids come in. Their cost for repairs, any areas that are raised or low, their cost for repairs from Heiberger was a little bit more per square foot. But from my calculations, we would have to repair about 600 square feet to get to where both of those were about the same price. That's quite a big area of repair when you think about that. You know, we walked the track today. There's a few spots, but I don't anticipate, unless there's something underneath the structure that we aren't aware of. So I wouldn't think that repair costs would be too excessive. That includes taking out the fencing from the gate by the track barn there, where those, if you've not been out there, some of those posts have heaved up to where it's actually cracking some of the track surface. We're going to move that fence back from that gate around to the straight part. So there's going to be new fence installed on that to give a little bit of room, because it is a little bit tight on that curve from the fence to the outside lane of the track. So that's new fence, new polyurethane, which is the same surface we have, markings, you know, the lane markings and all of that, two mats for the protection to walk across, for the football teams to walk across. So, you know, both bids were very close. So,
Is it going to be red still?
yes.
Good.
Yep. Yep. And that's not doing anything with the high jump area that's at this end, the large area at this end, or the long jump at the other end, because both of those are still in pretty good shape. So we would hope to get a few more bids, but Van from DPH Architects thought that those were both pretty decent prices. He's done a lot of checking. Both of the companies use the same material from this. They buy it from the same manufacturer. So.
And they can do it in our time frame when we were...
Yep. Completion date is August 3rd, and that was in the specs. They can start anytime after June 10th. We haven't got a date when they're going to be starting, but I would think it would be probably late June or early July. Get it done by early August. So I recommend that we go with the Heiberger Paving Company on that.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell? Yes. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
On to building principal reports. Debbie's at the concert. You're up. Hurry up. No.
Hurry up.
Hurry up. Hurry up before that concert wraps up.
Right. Step off too.
Start off the month with a jail visit. Not in cuffs, of course.
That's something that's something.
28 of our seniors went down to the Mahoney County Jail with some of our teachers and Joel Gensler to do a program with the sheriff and Billy Capabianca set up. Kind of not scared straight, but more in line with the Pill and Promise to show them, here's the intake, this is what you have to go through. Made several of them nervous. Talked about texting and driving, drinking and driving. It was an excellent program. That was on the 1st. Prom was on the 8th, last Friday. Our king was Jake Graffis, and our queen was Alexis Miller. We held it at Antone's. It was really nice. They did a nice job. The disc jockey was really good. Food was good. Antone's was a nice place to have it. It's a good place we may go back and forth on. You don't do 2 years in a row, but split up with someplace else. But it was a very nice night. They did a good job. Of course, we breathalyzed and everything was fine. Kids were used to that. We were sharing the place with Cardinal Mooney. That was the first year they were breathalyzing, so it was a little different for them. They weren't quite as used to it as our kids for the most part. But it's really good. I think it gives them a chance to say no to a lot of things. Also this month, tomorrow, our junior high, 120 of them, will be headed to Gettysburg and Hershey, leaving 7 a.m. We'll be back Sunday night, probably at 8:30 or so. We have about 38 to 40 kids left, so they're going to be doing activities tomorrow, the kids that are here. That'll be an interesting trip for them. Next week, on the 18th, we have the Ruritan Senior Dinner at the United Methodist Church. We have 28 kids going to that. That's something the Ruritans put on every year for the kids, a dinner. They get up and they say where they're going, what they're doing, and they eat there and then they're dismissed. On the 19th, we have our Scholastic Banquet at a la carte, and that starts at 6. And that'll be where they can bring their special person to talk about them. Again, Ruritans pays for the kids' dinner, their guest dinner, and also the plaques. So Ruritans does a nice job with all that. That'll be Tuesday. And then on Tuesday as well, we have a choir concert here at 6:30. Be over in the cafeteria. And on Thursday, jazz band will be performing at 6:30, along with the 512 choir will begin performing with the jazz band. And then we have the honor assembly that morning, 9 to 10, in the gymnasium. If you'd like to come to that. Mr. Melito is putting everything together for that. And on the 30th of May, we have an NHS event. It's called Dash for Cure. It's for cancer. It's a 2-hour program from 12 to 2 on the track. And the NHS is sponsoring it. Levi Smith is heading that up. And they're getting donations and pledges. And they can run different events. And when you run the different event, of course, you get the donation from people from that. So it's a pretty busy month. We also had Monday, our Western Reserve Heroes served dinner down in Salem at one of the homeless shelters. And it was really, really good for the kids. 16 of our kids went down with Danielle and provided food and served the people. And it was a good experience for them. Also last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 26 of our seniors went to Camp Hiram House, with the 5th graders. And they had a ball. They came back on Thursday night because of prom Friday. So they did have fun. Ropes course and everything included.
Good fun.
No injuries?
No injuries.
I didn't see any pictures of it, though.
We were good. No problem. But they did have a good time with it. And from what Debbie said, the seniors did a great job with the 5th grade kids. It was a really good experience. And we finished up testing on the 13th, so we were all done with testing. They're
boxed up, mailed, everything's gone, thank God. Mr. Melito will become a person again. Well, I don't know, Mr. Gottschalk, can that happen? But this needs to totally ignore it. But testing is all finished for this at this time, other than our finals down the road, which will be coming up. You realize we've tested since pretty much January to
Who's tests?
Ridiculous.
Where are they?
May. The conference
Where are
room
they
will
at
be
with
full
that
of tests, all various tests. But those are all done. That's it. I don't have videos they want. Huh?
Take great videos if they want it.
Yeah, we could do a video on that. So busy. Sean's here with Howard.
Yep.
Hi, my name's Sean Turner. I am the new tower president. The irony of the situation that I'm in right now is like mind-boggling, because if you know my background, I work as an engineer in a union automotive shop and usually fought against the union, and now I'm representing the union. So it's very ironic for me. But the cool thing about it is I get to represent people that I love to work with, and the thing is I look forward to working with each one of you to ensure that the Western Reserve school system continues on and gets even better than what we are even right now, which in my eyes is, I truly believe that this is the best school system in, if not in Ohio, for sure in Northeast Ohio. So I look forward to that. And other than that, I don't have anything. So.
Great.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's not sure.
I'm not sure, right?
You want me to go?
Yep.
Spring sports wrapping up. Track season went well. A lot of, we had our 11, 12 meets here, which is always entertaining. Went pretty quick this year. Andy and his coach did a great job from high school to junior high, organizing the kids and getting them through and getting them out. And it was a really well-ran season between the coaching staff and the officials that we get to come in. No matter what school, what kind of meet it is, the coaches and the other parents are always very appreciative of coming here and continue to tell us how well the meets run and how beautiful our facilities are. And it's even, I keep telling everybody it'll be even better next year with the new track. So it's really a testament to how things go around here. Baseball and softball both won league championships this year. Track, they had their ITCL meet Saturday, so that'll be interesting. Andy said he wants to score as many points as possible to be close to McDonald, because that's a tough one to beat in track. Their district meet is next week, May 20th and 22nd. Baseball won the sectional. They're now playing in the districts on the 21st. No, the 18th, I'm sorry, the 18th next week at Seam Park at 4 o'clock. If they win, they play in the district finals at 6 o'clock, I believe, at Seam Park. The next day on Tuesday, the 19th. Softball, I just finished up their game tonight for the sectional. They'll play in the district. We're very fortunate enough to hold the district tournament here this year. It's been played at Lisbon, so that's kind of a cool thing. Next week we host 2 games on Wednesday at 4 and then 4:30 and 6 o'clock. We play at 4:30. The first game for the semifinals, if they win, they play then on Thursday for the district final at 5 o'clock. Middle school track, their county meet is this coming Monday at Fitch. Their ITCL meet was yesterday. Yes, yesterday at Lowellville. The boys finished second and the girls finished 5th. So they're done. They're wrapped up. I know they're collecting uniforms now. Try to get everything back to us. Sports banquet is October 26th at Robbie Lee's. You're more than welcome to come. I'm not sure if they sent you the invitation yet or not. Or I'm sorry, May 26th, not October 26th. May 26th at 6 p.m.
Plain and egg.
That's not even a football one.
Wow.
Look, man. I don't know if I'm
I need time to get trophies, man.
I need a little more notice.
Cheer tryouts, we had cheer tryouts the last 3 days. I don't know if anybody got any phone calls. From what I understand, it went pretty well. If you do get phone calls or concerned, please let me know. As far as I know, everything's good. We're 8-8 cheerleaders, varsity JV. I'm not quite sure how many the junior high kept. And we have one spirit leader this year, Michaela Smith. She's going to be our little spirit leader this year, so it'll be a lot of fun. We're still posting for the middle school and varsity head coaching positions. We're posting internally, nobody's applied, so we'll probably put that out Monday externally. We have a couple people interested. We just have to see if anybody inside wanted it first. We're also posting for a girls golf position. Not sure what's going to happen next year with the tier position, whether or not she can coach. If she's going to be a teacher, so we have to wait and find out, but I have to post it. So we have to get things going. Staying along the lines.
Teresa's still going to be here though, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Teresa's still going to stay, right?
For the boys.
Okay.
Yes, as far as I know.
We're going to look at numbers.
Yeah, it depends on the numbers. I know girls, they've said probably going to be around 5, 6. Boys is another, that's a concern.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the boys, they're going to be down this year. But we are, still along those lines of golf. Diamondback is closing. They're selling their golf course. We're trying to find a place to play. And I got to meet with Flying B next week. So we may be going and playing at Flying B. I know some of the kids who I've talked to about golf are really excited to go there. It's a beautiful course. So we're going next week to meet with them to find out when they can practice and what days we can hold matches and so forth. Because I know they've kind of got a lot of that fall off from Diamondback. It'll be us, our girls, the boys and girls. Canfield girls, I believe, might be going out there. They might be getting Wesern back. So it's going to take a little bit of coordination with their golf pro to kind of schedule everything. So that's why I meet with him next week. Penn Ohio game for football, I believe, is June 26th at Geneva. At Geneva. The MVCA game is around the middle of June. It's usually in Hubbard. I'll have that information at the June board meeting. Summer gym. Summer is here. I know the basketball coaches have already started doing some shooting things and some small clinics with some of the kids, individual instruction. So that's really starting to get ramped up. I've got all their summer gym schedules. I'm trying to put it on one. I'll get it to Mr. Zatchok, and I'm sure I'll get it to you. It's a pretty packed summer between summer gyms and volleyball and football starting up with lifting. So it's supposed to be a downtime, but really the kids are here, just like school. So it's fun. Parent meeting for football is May 21st at 7:30 p.m. Along those lines of football, our EMIS numbers came in. We may be moving up to Division 6. It's not solidified yet. Hopefully we'll find out sometime before the June meeting.
The proposed numbers right now, our numbers are the same as they've been, 109 boys, but they dropped the number to 104 for Division 7.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I think by the time people will appeal and stuff, hopefully that'll all pan out. We'll still be in that Division 7, but it's hard to say.
Look at the numbers. If they go with the 104, there's a lot more teams in 6 than there are in 7. More teams moved up than came down, so 7 became really small. So
we have to wait until that appeal process is over. I think that's tomorrow's the deadline. Tomorrow's the deadline for the appeal process. So in the next couple of weeks, we should know for sure where we fit. Physical day is June 3rd after school. Dr. Niehaus and his interns residents do a great job every year. If you know anybody who wants to come up and help out, that'd be great. Taking blood pressures and stuff. We always need nurses to help out. Last thing, I guess, at the June board meeting on June 11th, we'll try to have all the coaches finalized through baseball, softball, or just through the winter. Just through winter.
head coaches,
assistants, everybody.
all assistants, head winner.
Head winter through June. We'll have all that stuff finalized, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. So,
Good.
should be done. That's good.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see your face.
You guys know Jeff
Before-
Martin?
2 out of 3
No.
months.
Well,
Is he new?
yeah, 2 meetings in a year. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He only came to make sure you're going to renew his contract.
I didn't know I was auditor.
Yeah.
I thought you're my auditor.
Just that packet's bigger than what it really necessarily needs to be. I have the first stapled package in that clip is the Athletic Hall of Fame Selection Committee. They're going to meet next Tuesday. Those are the people that we put on the selection committee. Probably in about 2 meetings, we're thinking they'll make the selection and get moving on our timeline. We've had 4 nominees for contributor, 2 for coach, 7 for team, 23 individuals that have had some type of prior recognition. We've had about 3 different halls or walls of fame. 23 that have had some type of prior recognition, and 16 other individuals. What I've included in that is a list of what I did was I went through and kind of went with all the banners and all the Hall of Fames that we have and listed the teams, listed the individuals that were state champions, listed the individuals of the what they call a 25-year team, and all those that we could find that had some type of recognition. That many of them are under the feeling that they are in some type of Hall of Fame already, and we're going to go to just the one and hopefully include as many of those people as we can as we get that going. The second piece of the handout there is just a letter from the ODE regarding highly qualified teachers, and you can see there for the last 2 years now we've had 100% of our staff is highly qualified, which is very good, very nice to have. Some interesting reading from Senator Peggy Lehner, who is the chair of the Senate Advisory Committee on Testing. Some of the proposals they're talking about, none of this is etched in stone, but some of the things they're looking at doing with the testing. And I even saw something today that one of the committees suggested to not have the testing simply done by Park, but have other companies have an opportunity. So testing seems to follow the dollar bills.
Seriously, how do you get on a committee like this?
Be a senator. But this Peggy Lehner is very receptive to any correspondence. So
Really?
I can get you an email, and I know some of us have
I
sent
would
her
appreciate that.
as a board member, or that would be a great thing to do.
I
I can
would
get
like
that
that.
to you. Absolutely. I'll send that on
Thank
to
you.
all of you.
She's actually someone who really does listen to lawyers. Joe Schroeder gave us her name and
Really?
everything. She's
Yeah,
very
he's another
receptive.
one that's very pro-education.
Give me this, because I was kind of
Yeah.
curious about all this.
Last thing that I have, I put a couple of packets in there. I've been trying to, I spent not a great deal of time, but trying to figure out something with these wind turbines as far as sale.
Fix it.
I did find this. Well, first off, I found a company that had like an online auction for wind turbine products. However, all the prices were in euros because it was based in England. So I thought, well, that's going to be kind of tough. I found a company in Kansas, Rock County Wind. Sent them an email last week, never got a reply, so there was a number on there, so I called the number. It's no longer a working number. I think what's happening is the drive to put windmills up has really fallen off considerably. There are no longer incentives in Ohio for anybody to put up windmills or wind turbines, alternative energy. That was cut. I kind of just gave you something to look through. This was this one company, Used Wind Generator and Parts. I guess probably one of the, and we talked about Bassinger Auction Services, but they don't deal in wind turbines. I guess what I'm looking at, two different options. There's the company Wind Turbines of Ohio, which is an alliance, and we've talked to that guy. He's the one that gave us the prices to redo those that we considered when we decided we weren't going to continue with the wind turbine project. He's the one that offered to, basically if we paid for the crane to be here, he would demolish them and take them, trying to get some money out of that. The only other thing that I'm looking at is I did find a website called municibid.com, and that's with this last packet. I couldn't get the front page to print. They actually had a windmill on there. You can see the starting bid was $10,000. The current bid was $11,000. They had a reserve bid on that. However, if you look at the dates, that was in February to May of 2011.
That's a mistake.
Yeah. So that site, municipbid.com, is for government agencies, townships, villages, school districts, that they can go on. From what I can gather, there's no fee. I guess the hard part is to figure out what we want to put, if we went on something like this, what we want to put as a reserve bid to get for the three towers, 2 that are assumedly working turbines, all the electrical components that are in the one room out there, to get an idea of how to approach that. So I'll continue to look at that and see, but it just seems like there's a lot of dead ends to it because it's not the popularity, and for somebody to come and take that down, I even thought even a tower company, but has the structural integrity of those towers been jeopardized by those turbines the way they were? So I don't even know if that's usable if they're able to reuse the steel to build another tower somewhere else. But I thought maybe that municipal bid might be something to throw on there and see if there's any interest. Somebody might come and say they'll take them down for $15,000 or $20,000 or whatever. I did get the article in the last newsletter that the results of the mediation and all that. I didn't get a call. I don't know if anybody's got anything from anybody. Not got a call from anybody on.
What's a good article that you
on that? So still looking at that stuff. I think that's all.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He wants to go, we have to go somewhere to...
Oh.